For Eleanor Smith, life was good. When she wanted something for her and her family, she bought it. Credit was easy. She ran up tens of thousands of pounds in debt.
We just found things escalating, and then when I was made redundant on maternity leave, we'd got a child, couldn't afford to pay the minimums off on all of our credit. We were having phone calls from our creditors, sometimes up to 7 times a day, 5, 6 different letters of post coming through the door.
After doing an online search 7 years ago, Eleanor found Payplan, one of the UK's largest free-to-consumer debt management companies. It has helped more than 1 million people deal with their debt problems.
They were very sympathetic, very understanding, and the advice they offered us and assisted in terms of the communication with the creditors was just invaluable. We set up a debt management plan. We initially owed £30,000 and we've actually now paid £23,000 of that off. So there is now light at the end of the tunnel.
So that's going to be...
Right now, I think that's a real problem for many households in the UK. A few years ago, typically people contacting Payplan for help might have been at the lower end of the income level and potentially might have lived in rented accommodation. But actually right now we see a whole spectrum of people coming to us for debt advice. So it's homeowners, it's young families, it's people in their 40s, it's blue collar, it's white collar. It's a whole spectrum of people that are struggling with debts. So one of the big challenges we have is trying to encourage people to say, yes, I am in debt and yes, I need help. And if they come to Payplan, we deal with them confidentially, we're impartial, and we'll only work with the creditors with their authority.
Payplan works long-term with consumers to create a budget that's sensible and realistic and allows for essential and priority payments to be made. It can negotiate directly with creditors to produce a repayment plan that is, above all, sustainable, be it a debt management plan or individual voluntary arrangement.
Our model's unusual in the marketplace in that rather than charge a client, which we didn't want to do when we set out, we ask creditors for support. So if a client pays £100 a month to us, say, we make sure that the whole £100 goes towards paying off their debts. We then ask the creditors for a voluntary contribution to cover our costs, which means that everything a client pays to us is genuinely going to reduce their debt. If it's an individual voluntary arrangement, we charge an industry standard percentage of any monies distributed. The funding from both of those allows us to provide a holistic service to every client that contacts us.
The business was launched by Rachel Duffy's parents with another business partner in 1992. They wanted to support police and armed forces personnel who despaired at possible disciplinary action for going into debt.
There were small numbers of fee-charging debt management companies out there. So if you did know where to go for help, it would be expensive, but most clients simply didn't know of their options at all.
Payplan has grown into a business with more than 1,000 employees based in Lincolnshire and Portugal. Debt management is a much bigger, more competitive market now, some of it tarnished with a bad image. But Payplan explains that by staying true to the ethics on which it built the business, it's ensured a strong reputation, earning referrals from organisations such as the Citizens Advice Bureau, Police Federation and Unison. For creditors, it's arguably a lifeline too.
The creditors face a real problem in today's market. They're seeing customers with multiple debt problems, and unfortunately creditors haven't got the capacity or the skill sets to deal with all these multiple problems, and they're really looking for a company that can help them take an holistic view of that customer's position. And that's where they see us as a real benefit. They can refer a customer to Payplan. They know that we're a free service, so we don't charge the customer anything. We know we're independent, we're impartial, so there's going to be no bias. It's a confidential service. We'll look after that customer, and we have got the time and the expertise to do a full review of that customer and then subsequently provide long-term support that the creditors are unable to do. Once we have that piece in place, the financials look after themselves.
The first point of contact for a client is Payplan's trained helpline staff, who they say are always non-judgmental.
Our helpline staff, in my opinion, are some of the best. They really care about what's actually happening with them, with the clients, because a lot of them have been in very similar situations themselves. So they're looking for that initial rapport building with the client. On the initial call, when the client first comes through, what we're looking to do is to find out exactly what the client needs from us, so we can take that need and build on it.
Keen to stay at the cutting edge going forward, the company has developed Payplan Plus, an online tool for clients to check their progress 24/7. Many more of them, it seems, could be heading Payplan's way.
Right now the economy is growing, so that's got to be good news, but my concern is that we've still got a few years ahead of us where people will still struggle with debt. One of the things we see at Payplan is underemployment, so people that are working but perhaps aren't earning the salaries that they were 2 or 3 years ago. If mortgage rates start to increase, if gas and electricity starts to increase again, they will really struggle. So I'm afraid I see that there'll still be a huge demand for Payplan's services going forward. Our business is about helping people in debt, and that's the core of everything that we do. We haven't deviated from that, and everybody's able to buy into that overall mission statement, if you like. And we don't chop and change that. That's ingrained in our DNA.